is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Coming up on News 3 Live at 4, we'll show you how Western Illinois University is celebrating its 117th anniversary.
And local farmers showcase their homegrown produce at an annual Macomb event. See how you can support the region's farmers.
Plus, after a wet and rainy weekend, what does this week have in store? Storm Team 3's Jared Streeter has your forecast ahead.
Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
A Macomb woman has 2 run-ins with police over the weekend. Both police say are DUIs. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Mackenzie Yerby. It all started Friday night when police got a call for a hit and run in the Gelsosimo's Pizza. Police then were able to find the 26-year-old Brittany Abercrombie in the 100 block of North Campbell Street without her headlights on. After police conducted a sobriety test, she was arrested for driving under the influence. Then on Saturday night, Abercrombie was involved in another crash when she tried to drive into someone's driveway. Abercrombie was forced to take another sobriety test and was arrested again for DUI. Abercrombie has been released on bond.
Western Illinois University is celebrating its 117th anniversary. News 3's Austin Gillatine gives us a look into Monday's Founders Day event.
Every year, on September 23rd, Western Illinois University staff, faculty, alumni, and community leaders gather to celebrate the founding of the university. This year, it is celebrating 117 years as an established university.
In 1899, a bill to establish what was then called Western Illinois State Normal School was passed by the state legislature.
On the first day of classes in 1902, a simple bell was rang to signify the school day had begun. On this day, 117 years later, Lana Myers, granddaughter of Ed DeCamp, who rang the bell all those years ago, still rings that same bell.
Ms. Myers, as a reminder of the university's origin, would you again please ring the bell?
It's very nice and interesting. My grandfather rang this same bell, and I am lucky to have it in the family, and I'm able to do this too. So I think Founders Day is a wonderful celebration for the university.
For WIU Acting President Dr. Martin Abraham, this was his first Founders Day, and he used it to reflect on the history of the university.
Every university is unique, and Western has tremendous things that it has accomplished and it should be very proud of. And that's really what today is all about, recognizing all of those accomplishments, recognizing the unique history that exists here, and being able to celebrate the great things that go on at Western Illinois.
The bell has rang for 117 years, and just like the bell on top of Sherman Hall, it shall keep ringing for years to come. Reporting for News 3, I'm Austin Gillatine.
Thank you, Austin. Today, the WIU Quad Cities campus spent its morning celebrating Founders Day.
And one day into fall this morning, and it felt like fall, but those temperatures have heated back up this afternoon. Let's take a look at the weather with Storm Team 3, Jared.
Thank you guys. Yes, it did start to heat up as we started to head into the later hours of today. Right now we see temperatures at 78 degrees. Winds are a little higher, though. It is helping our case right now, south at 12 miles an hour. As we can see here, though, those temperatures are going to kind of stay the same, but we can see this low pressure system starting to move into our area, so that's going to bring us some rain later this week. I'll have all that and more when we come back later on.
Well, I think it's safe to say we are weeks away from maybe the first snowfall of the year, but Illinois Department of Transportation is getting prepared. IDOT renewed its annual Snowbird program, calling people to fill seasonal positions like removing snow and ice across the state. Temporary snowplow drivers are hired every year on a full-time and on-call basis. For more information and a list of what is required to apply, you can visit our website, news3wiu.com.
Local farmers are a big influence in everyday lives, and farmers in our region were able to show off their products. News 3 Michelle Doherty shows us importance of farm to fork.
From seed to plant to growth and harvest, Western Illinois University's third annual Farm to Fork allowed farmers to showcase their produce.
Most of the food that you'll get at the Farm to Fork event is produced by producers that are associated with the Macomb Food Co-op.
Brian Davies is behind the Macomb Food Co-op, a place where local farmers can bring their product for income. One of those local farmers is Joel Groover. He contributed to this year's Farm to Fork event.
I am the source of the popcorn for the bacon popcorn.
You can also find his produce at the Macomb Food Co-op.
At the Food Co-op, right now we have popcorn in a bulk mint.
Well, we think shopping local is beneficial for a number of reasons. It supports the local economy, it supports the local producers, hopefully reduce the amount of fuel needed to transport food.
Farm to Fork is an event that highlights how important farmers are to our communities.
Farmers are doing more than growing the crops.
Right.
So obviously they're helping to feed us, but they are also, many of them are very civically engaged.
Davies says supporting local farmers by buying their product at the Macomb Food Co-op is important to the community.
We want to emphasize the importance of local food. It's fresher, hopefully more nutritious as a result of that, and again, you're supporting the local economy.
Reporting for News 3, I'm Michelle Doherty.
Thanks, Michelle. And if you would like to visit the Macomb Food Co-op, it is open Tuesday through Friday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday afternoon from noon until 3. They are located at the intersection of South MacArthur and Washington Street.
Well, Western Illinois University wants to know if you can escape. University Housing and Dining is hosting their first Rockies Escape Challenge. Tonight, you and a group of friends can try your luck at competing one of 3 escape rooms before the 60-minute time limit. The teams that complete each room the fastest win a prize. You can see the information on your screen. The event is free with a student ID. Looks like we have something to do tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to try that out.
All right.
And dirty air could be affecting pregnant women and their babies. According to a new study, the polluted air could enter the mother's womb and disrupt development for the baby. Mandy Gaither has more on today's Health Minute.
There's new evidence that the air a pregnant woman breathes in could affect the fetus, according to a study published in the journal Nature Communications. Researchers found that when pregnant women breathe in black carbon pollution, harmful particles can make their way from the lungs to the placenta and could potentially reach the fetus. Dirty air could then cause health problems once the child is born. Black carbon pollution is created by the combustion of fossil fuels, which can come from cars or power plants. The small study examined the placentas from 25 non-smoking mothers immediately after they gave birth. Researchers say the more black carbon the women were exposed to during pregnancy, the more pollutant was found in the placenta. The study cautions that more research is needed to show whether once inside the placenta, the pollutant particles can reach the fetus directly, but researchers say the results prove that placentas aren't an impenetrable barrier. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And still to come on Live at 4, 2 earthquakes rocked 2 countries oceans apart from each other in less than 24 hours.
Also, we continue our Tyler Smith series, see what the family's private investigator found as the family goes a year without answers. News 3 Live at 4. We'll be right back.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. We continue our series into the death investigation of former WIU graduate Tyler Smith, who was found dead in Galesburg last September. Today we break down more of what the family feels has been a hard time trying to get justice for their son.
It was just error after error after error after error.
Tyler Smith's parents say more than a year after their son was found dead in Cedar Creek in Galesburg, they continue to hit roadblocks with the police department.
If we would have known you weren't looking for video, you can be sure that I would be here, his dad would be here, our family would have been here, his friends, the whole community we live in would have been here doing your job.
Smith's parents say they have more than a dozen claims they feel investigators didn't care about, like finding Tyler on the Casey's and ATM surveillance video, which Tyler's parents say police told them they didn't see him on, even after having it for 3 weeks. Next on their list of claims, throwing away evidence like Tyler's clothes, shoes, the beer can, and release the rest of his belongings in 4 days. Sandra Halsney says no DNA was tested and no x-rays or fingerprints were done. And she claims police first told her no business checks were done at the Casey's, but later police said there was.
If you didn't want to do your job and you were just plain lazy, what better way to be lazy than to have somebody else come and do that job?
The family says these marks by Tyler's ankle look like marks similar to a stun gun or taser, but police said no officers had tasers on them that night, and police say no dash cam video was on at the time the officer drove down the street. Halsney says scanner traffic was quiet during that time.
And the family says you all threw evidence away, then wanted to release it just days after.
Items of evidentiary value are kept until they're no longer needed as evidentiary value.
Chief Idle says the department stands by calling this an accident.
There's one more piece of information to suggest most likely that this was accidental as he's walking by himself.
It wouldn't necessarily have piqued the officer's interest at all. I mean, as we drive around as patrol officers, we observe people walking down the street, and there's nothing striking about it at all.
And from this fence, the family says a few things could have happened. Tyler would have to walk across these railroad tracks and either come down this concrete incline, or someone may have brought him in a vehicle through these gates if they had the key. Now, if he was still on foot, he would be walking through this canal in water, slipping and falling, and then somehow end up all the way down there in the canal. But it's all of these unanswered questions that still has the family trying to get to the bottom of what happened.
All along, I kept telling Keith and my family, I just don't feel like something's right from the get-go.
Tyler's parents hired a private investigator, which found that per protocol of Galesburg Police, a death scene checklist should have been filled out. A sergeant confirmed that one wasn't. The investigator also found an Illinois State Police crime scene technician could have been called in, who works in the same building as the police department, but wasn't.
I feel like Tyler would have had every one of those people that have turned their backs on him, he would have had their back.
And you can find a complete list of the family's claims on our website, news3wiu.com. That's also where you will find parts 1 and 2 of our series.
At least 20 people are dead and 300 injured after a 5.8 earthquake struck eastern Pakistan. Hundreds of people are being treated at the district hospital, according to the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The earthquake happened around 4 Tuesday afternoon. Pictures have emerged of fissures in the road and building collapses are being reported on local media. Hours later, a second earthquake shook the island of Puerto Rico. The governor says there have been at least 3 aftershocks. The National Weather Service says there is no threat of a tsunami.
Coming up next on News 3 Live at 4, Storm Team 3's Jared Streeter has your weekday forecast.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
Welcome back and good afternoon, Macomb. 79 degrees outside. That temperature has gone up, but I think it's all downhill from here, luckily. Temperatures right now, 79 degrees, as I just stated. My apologies. 44-degree humidity, winds south-southwest at 11 miles an hour. That dew point over there, about 55 degrees. Average temperatures this time of year, right around 74, so unlike last week, we are not well above that. We're actually right around our average today. Average low this time of year, 49 degrees, and record high, 92. Looking at our surface map, as I mentioned earlier, we do have this low pressure system that we have up here. This cold front here is going to start to move some moisture and some showers and thunderstorms into our area as we start to head into tonight and later this week. Looking at our infrared right now, we do have some clouds that are over the area. We can see that they are moving relatively quickly because of the high winds that we have going on right now. Over our area, we do not have that any storms at all, nothing on the radar. Looking at our temperatures today, 78 earlier today here in Macomb, Keokuk, 79, Quincy, 82, and Beardstown, you're looking at 80 degrees. As we look at tonight, our low tonight, 63 degrees here in Macomb, 64 down in Beardstown, 63 down in Springfield. Looking at tomorrow, we are looking at a high about 77 degrees, 80 over in Keokuk, and 83 down in Quincy. Now, as we head into tomorrow night, we are going to see those temperatures plummet to 54 degrees here in Macomb, 55 in Keokuk, and 58 down in Quincy. Looking at tonight again, we are going to look at temperatures of 63 degrees southwest at 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, the chance of showers and thunderstorms. Again, that's where that cold front's going to start to come through. Wind southwest at 10 miles an hour. As we look at our 5-day forecast, these temperatures are absolutely beautiful. 77 degrees tomorrow as a high, 72 on Thursday, all sun skies. But Friday and Saturday have some chances for rain with a high 79 on Friday, high 72 on Saturday, and then Sunday, high 81.
So. Yeah, good thing, I guess, the weather maybe the same as last weekend.
maybe the same as last weekend, but at least the temperatures are much lower than they have been.
Right.
And we're starting to get into that fall trend, but I'm not going to jinx it. Every time somebody says, "Oh, it's fall now," no, not quite.
All right, Jared. Well, we know that impacted sports, the weather, right?
Yes, it did. We had terrible weather last weekend. Thank you, Devin Brooks. Coming up next on Live at 4, we got Western Illinois football in action at home for the second straight week. Plus, we've got high school football with Macomb looking for the first win of the season against the visiting Kankakee A's. And we will hear from WIU head volleyball coach Ben Stopey and what is to come in their matchup tonight against the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. All that and more coming up next in sports.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
Welcome back to Live at 4. I'm Michael Dion. The Western Illinois football team was 0-3 heading into Saturday, staring down the face of bad weather and the 2-1 Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. The game kicked off at 3 p.m. and was promptly stopped for a 2.5-hour rain delay just 4 minutes into the game. The first 3 quarters after the gameplay resumed were all Golden Eagles, but then in the fourth, things got interesting. Over 4 hours after the game originally kicked off, 12:09 left in the fourth quarter, Western down 31-10 when Kevin Johnson connects with George Wahi for the 18-yard Leatherneck touchdown to make it 31-17. Ensuing possession, Golden Eagles throw the football and Andre Whitley says, "Thank you very much, good sir," gift wrapped and picked off by the Leathernecks. Then the very next play for WIU, Johnson steps up, winds, fires, and finds Dennis Houston for the touchdown that makes it 31-24 with 8 to go. Unfortunately for Western, that was all the offense they could muster in their rally. Golden Eagles sophomore quarterback Bailey Fisher dominated this game. 300-plus passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. The bright spot for Western, senior transfer quarterback Kevin Johnson. He had 3 touchdowns in the game in the second half and 157 yards. Let's take a trip down a couple of years in age to high school football. The Macomb Bombers welcomed in a team from a land far, far away, the Kankakee K's. The K's came in 3.5 hours away to play the Bombers last Friday night. The Bombers were looking to stand tall against an opponent from the other side of the state of Illinois. And Bomber quarterback VJ Lane, already down 14-0, gets stripped, sacked, fumbled, and that is Willie Norwood who picks it up and rumbles in to make it 22-0. Then on the next possession, quarter 2, this is Avion Pittman who gets his second touchdown of the night. This will make it 28-0 on the counter play. He runs left, then jukes right at the 7-yard line and gets in for the score. Kankakee is not done yet. From the midfield, it is quarterback Tywan Stewart who will throw this bubble screen pass out to his left-hand side, and this is the 4th of 5 Ks to score in this game. Barreling up the sidelines, beating 4-11X is the wideout for Kankakee, and that makes it 34-0 at this point. There is 5:06 left in Q2, and the Bombers would not be able to make a comeback. The Kankakee scoring did not stop until the running clock hit 0. Bombers lose 48-0 and drop to 0-4 on the season, while Kankakee moves to 3-1. Macomb High back in action Friday night. They play Paris. Moving to the pitch, the WIU women's soccer team was in action on Monday to make up a rain-related postponement from Sunday against the Northern Iowa Panthers. It was 1-0 in minute number 40, and that is Emily Bowman who puts a shot onto the net. It's deflected, but it goes right onto the foot of another Leatherneck who buries it in the back of the goal. So at that point, it is 2-0. Then we'll get Western Illinois to put home their 3rd goal. That is in the 53rd minute, and it is Cassidy Grunwald who takes the shot. Goal gives up the rebound. Amy Andrews smashing it home. It's 3-0 Western. That's all the scoring that they need. Northern Iowa manages 2 goals in the game before the final buzzer sounded, but that was not enough. WIU takes this one 3-2. They are now 3-5-1 on the year. They play Chicago State this Sunday here in Macomb. The Leathernecks will be looking to improve on their conference play record as well. That's the WIU volleyball team. They only won 2 games in conference last year, and a quest for a berth in the conference tournament begins tonight against the Fort Wayne Mastodons. The Mastodons are 6-8 this season, led by Katie Crow, who has just 171 kills so far this season, which is tied for 64th in the nation for an individual. Crow is just one of a great front for IPFW.
Their front line is huge. They're bigger than we are. But I think at that point, like I had said, their kills per set, I think they're 3rd in the conference at this point. Their hitting percentage is there. But we have, like I said, the more aces, so we'll, the receiving errors, those types of things. We're going to have to play consistent volleyball. I need 3, 4, 5 sets, whatever it is, of consistent volleyball.
First serve for the WIU volleyball game against the 6-8 Mastodons is set for 6 p.m. tonight in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's it for sports. Final word is next.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
Welcome back, Macomb. Looking at our 5-day forecast again tomorrow there is a slight chance for some showers and thunderstorms with a high of 77 degrees with a low of 54. Thursday going to be absolutely beautiful, sunny skies and 72 degrees with that low of 59. Unfortunately, as we head into our weekend and that the homecoming events. A little bit of rainy with a high of 79 and a high of 72 on Saturday.
Alrighty, well, thank you. And that's all the time we have today.
But we are online all the time. Stay up to date with us, news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
And from all of us here at News 3, have a great night, Macomb.